There is no dead among the living, Murdo MacDonald-Bayne. Therefore if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and thou rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way, first be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Matthew 5:23-24. We have already begun to know that 90% of our mental life is under the surface. What we hear, see etc., through the senses is absorbed into the mind, then it is either accepted, rejected, or becomes rearranged with other impressions previously received. It is quite easy to see if you are wide awake, what the individual mind is made up of. The mind of most people is a conglomeration of ideas which become the fixed expression of the mind. Now according to what your mind is made up of, so you will accept or reject, so you are just reacting automatically without understanding. A great deal of our mental makeup is hereditary. We follow tradition, a belief in religion, belief in death, hell and the devil. We follow a pattern made for us, so we are imitators and not thinkers. We conform, we believe, we follow, we become mere mental robots without understanding. If you are born into a European family, you will probably follow the Christian religion. Now this religion is subdivided into the many different dogmas, each claiming that theirs is the true path, so you generally follow the one your parents followed. You are conditioned before you are even born. The same applies to the Hindu and the Mohammedan. So our outlook is more or less the result of imitations which we have inherited from past generations. So we are caught up in the confusion of our forefathers. We think we know but we don't know. The conditions existing today are caused by the ignorance of yesterday, and the generation to come will follow in our footsteps and will inherit our mistakes. Unless we begin to think clearly for ourselves now, we will perpetuate the ignorance and confusion of the past, so will the next generation do the same, if our transformation does not take place now. The great thing is, how can we make the world a better place to live in? We can only do this by seeing the cause of our confusion today. We have a great deal of knowledge, but what we need is more wisdom. Unless we see that knowledge and wisdom are not the same, we will never progress. Knowledge, being experience, and memory can never bring wisdom into being. Wisdom is from moment to moment, whereas knowledge can never be free from the past, from time. Wisdom is free from time. Knowledge is accumulation which is binding. Wisdom is immediate and is free from accumulation and is not binding. Knowledge deals with facts, wisdom is beyond facts. Wisdom is creative, knowledge is created. Knowledge is of the mind, wisdom is of the spirit. Spirit is now, it is eternal. Knowledge is bit by bit. Wisdom frees us from the conditioning process of knowledge. Knowledge cannot free us, nor will it free the generations to come. We should know now that knowledge cannot save us, only wisdom can. Unless we discern the difference between knowledge and wisdom, we will never realize the one life that is present everywhere. It is all wisdom and intelligence there is, and it is not divided, it is not isolating while knowledge is. The great hindrance in life is holding on to old fixed ideas, which have long outlived their usefulness. As we begin to understand, we will discard all ideas that are isolating and destroying. We will discard the ideas of separate beliefs, of limited science, the belief in the power of man as a separate entity. The belief that God inflicts man with all kinds of disease, that God punishes man, and that there is a hell and a devil, and all the stupid contraptions built up in the ignorant mind must be discarded. Have we not held fast to the fixed ideas of the past and perpetuated the errors that burden us? Are we to pass this burden on to the next generation? We will do so, unless we begin to think for ourselves now and not follow blind fools. Wrong thinking will never bring about right thinking. We have accepted the psychological junk that security is based upon, the expansion of the self. This only separates man from man and limits his achievements. It makes us fearful of another, it breaks down our health and sends thousands into mental homes. The universal mind is impersonal, undisturbed, fearless. It is love, intelligence, and wisdom. The universal mind is the only mind there is, there can be no other, it being universal. To possess the qualities of the universal, we must discern that which is hindering its expression in us. We are the receivers, the universal mind is the transmitter. When we understand this, we see why silence gives us tremendous power. When we are universal, the universal can work through us, and this can be immediate when we see that which is hindering it. We can only realize the power of the silence when the silence is reached. But the silence is not reached through dreaming, nor is it reached by concentration on an idea to the exclusion of all else. It comes into being through awareness of what is preventing the silence now. For only through awareness does the universal function. Practice is the thing that enables us to be proficient in the art of awareness, living and acting. In us the Spirit of God is individualized, and we must seek the law of causation by ourselves, for by no other means can it be found. Then we will know that we are the cause of all the effects we produce, hence the necessity of understanding the cause. Are we not conditioned by our past, by conformity, by desire for our advancement, by the subtle accumulation of power? And though we may be outwardly active, we are inwardly dead. So we seek continuity, so we are caught up in time. What is time, anyhow? There is chronological time, and there is also another time, the psychological process of continuity. We want to continue, and in the very desire to continue we create the process of time and the fear of not continuing. It is the fear of not continuing that we are afraid of. After all, what is it that continues? If we live from moment to moment, we will know death, for we die each moment to live each moment, and knowing death we shall know life, because the two are not very different. If we do not know how to live, we are afraid of death. But if we know how to live, there is no death. Most people do not know how to live, so they look upon death as a negation of life, therefore they are afraid of death. But if we understand what living is, we shall know death in the very process of living. The difficulty is for us to die to all things that we have accumulated, to yesterday. It is only when we die from moment to the things of yesterday, and understand the whole significance of continuity, that there is the unknown. That which continues can never know the unknown, for that which continues is the known. But if you die to the known, the unknown will reveal itself and has no continuity, for continuity means a beginning and an ending, but that which is beyond time has no beginning or ending. Most people live only in the known, therefore yesterday and tomorrow become more important than the ever-present. But the ever-present is the eternal, therefore we must die to the known to realize the unknown. It is the known that wants continuity. The moment that is past must come to an end before the renewal takes place. It is the dying to the known that reveals the unknown, so death and life are in the same cup. Some say they have overcome death, but surely everything that has to be overcome must be overcome again and again. When you conquer your enemy, you have to conquer him again and again. That is why wars continue. The moment you vanquish one, there is another to be vanquished, so that which is overcome can never be understood. Overcoming is merely a form of suppression, and that which is suppressed, whether it be internal or external, can never be understood. The overcoming of a fear is merely the postponing of that fear, so it is with the fear of death. So we try all the tricks of the mind to hypnotize the mind. If we look at this closely, we will see that they are but ways of the self. So we pray in the hope that we shall get a place in heaven. This is merely a process of thinking, which is conditioning us to time. We fear our own thoughts, so we fear the thought of death. Fear exists only in relation to something. We are afraid of not becoming, we are afraid of the unknown, of death. Can such a fear be overcome by determination, by a conclusion, by choice? Obviously not. So fear can never be overcome by any form of discipline. Mere suppression or substitution only creates resistance. Freedom from fear cannot be attained through mere intellectual or verbal explanation. We are afraid of a fact or an idea about a fact. Are we afraid of the thing as it is, or are we afraid of what we think it is? Are we afraid of the fact of death or the idea of death? Fact is one thing and idea is another. I am afraid of the idea, not of the fact. When I am in complete communion with the fact, there is no fear. But as long as I only have an opinion, a theory about the fact, I am not sure, so my doubt creates fear. How can there be fear of a fact when I am face to face with the fact, in direct communication with it? I can look at it, observe it, therefore there is no fear of the fact. What causes fear is my apprehension about the fact, what the fact might be or do. There can be freedom from fear only when there is self-knowledge. For self-knowledge is the beginning of wisdom, which is the ending of fear. And he saith unto them, Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? And then he arose, and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. Matthew 8:26. Benediction. O ever-present eternal being, when I speculated about life I was afraid. But then, O eternal one, my fear disappeared when I knew I was life. I knew my living was from moment to moment in the ever-present and the past died at that moment. This, I know, was death. Death was the end of the moment, while life renewed itself eternally. O Great One, I thank Thee for revealing Thyself to me, then all fear disappeared. Now I know the meaning of the words, Follow me, let the dead bury their dead, O mighty eternal Father of mine. My peace and my love remain with you. Yours very sincerely, Murdo MacDonald-Bayne.